Alright, gang, this is gonna be a tape reading of what you gonna call it? Wednesday. Yeah, short week Wednesday so far. Yeah, tape reading, price action review, all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get that going. So pretty much what we had happen today, um, is coming into the day, right? We still have this all-time high SMT, right, in place with this 4 hour model. But this, is in the air to get, to be, completed, this SMT, right? Because we did come down to these stacked lows right here. We completed this, sell curve, sell side of the curve, sell model, whatever you want to call it. We could still continue lower, or we could continue to consolidate or whatever. But that's kind of not important right now. It's out of the picture, because we have a more specific and accurate, lower time frame picture. That's all we really need right now. So in the 1 hour, right, coming into the day yesterday, we swept out, daily lows, put an SMT there, as well as put in a really nice strong, buy model on the 1 hour. So if this is our buy model right here, this is a smart money reversal. This is our first stage and second stage reaccumulation. Where is the price targets? Well, the consolidated highs. I actually would have liked to see these highs as well get taken, but these consolidated highs, was what I was really looking at, right, coming into the day. So yeah, um, we had these highs up here. We had this buy model in place and really nice trend, strong bullish order flow. So that was kind of our context coming in the day. Right into New York Open right here. We had I marked out my session highs, right, London session highs right here. London session open slash lows. Um, on ES, same shit really. No SMTs anywhere really. There was an SMT at this 1 hour high, but it wasn't nothing too major. We were just retracing down, but in this area we're coming into an order block in this 1 hour fair value gap. Most likely with this bullish strong order flow in this model, this is probably where we pop up on the second stage reaccumulation and get a move up, right? Um, so we do actually do that, right? We come out and sweep all these 15-minute and 5 lows from pre-market pretty much. Um, every all these lows from London session basically, except for London session open, we swept out. So here, once we get a model, you could have taken that. I did have an entry set, then I just stopped it because we weren't backed by time-based liquidity, with this move, right? We were kind of in no man's land, like kind of chopping around in terms of time-based liquidity, right? We have equal highs at London highs, which is nice, but we haven't swept any session lows or anything like that, right? We're just moving up. But when you have such strong order flow and trend in place, especially with a higher time frame model in place, a really clean picture, you're not always going to need, time-based liquidity to be swept, right? Um, Sometimes just this 15-minute sweep is enough, which it was this time, right? Um, so yeah, that's where your first trade could have been, right here, right? And this first presented fair value gap. After we sweep all these lows, right? We swept all these 15-minute lows. Now we actually get our first model up out of here, right? Strong price action right here. We come close to actually getting the stop taken, and then you would take profits at London session highs. Probably would have got stopped to break even at the rest of these. Although notice this low never gets taken, but the smart thing to do is probably put your stop to break even after this hits 2R, right? This is not a good move right here down. But yeah, then it ends up working all the way until here. Um, but yeah, that was a really nice trade for the day. Unfortunately, we did not take that one. I literally just didn't right at the end. Right as my entry was about to get hit, I just cut it, or I just canceled it, um, because we didn't have time-based liquidity. But we learned today that you don't always need that, as you can see from today, right? You don't always need time-based liquidity, um, you know, right away backing you when you have a higher time frame model that is off of time-based liquidity backing you already. With this order flow and trend, right, we're in a really good spot. So yeah, and then also, we did put in an SMT, um, at it was right here, at London session highs, right? Um, Now, once again, keep in mind we have really strong bullish order flow. We're in a spot where we expect us to, pop up in second stage reaccumulation, right? um, with this bullish model following us, right? We're expecting to come up here, right? Notice what happens. We get this SMT at London session high, right? And what does that give us, right? We get a market structure shift down, right? And we get a really nice or a large model, right? Um, right here, I believe is the SMT So yeah, we get this large model, but in doing this, right, this would be your entry probably on the model right here when we come back to retest. This is the model I did take. Um, at the same time, I knew this wasn't really aligned because it wasn't, right? We are getting an SMT at London session highs, right? Um, but we've already, coming back into our entry over here, right? If we want to enter in off this breaker block, right? Sorry, we've already ran down so far. Like we've already and made this 5-minute low SMT, right? NQ did not take this low, right? NQ had not taken any of these lows, right? So we have a 5-minute low SMT as well, potentially in place. And in order for us to get filled, we have to run all the way back up, right? We've already, expanded pretty damn far off this, right? And put in a SMT at a 5-minute New York session lows, right? Um, and in this context, right, this is enough for this move to be over, right? That move has delivered now, right? This is in this context, right? When we have this strong of bullish order flow, right? This model behind us, right? And we're coming into this fair value gap on the 1 hour and order block, right? This is a high area probability where we expand, right? So with all that context opposing us, right? When we get a sweep, a bullish or a bearish SMT at London session highs with an internal model, likely it's only going to take internal, um, internal liquidity, which it does, right? We get an SMT at 5-minute lows, and it's only going to come into PD arrays, which we already are in, right? So there's not much more lows until way lower at session lows, which is a pretty long shot for this area. So with this context behind us, right, that was kind of a bad trade. And then lastly, a trade I tried to get in, I literally missed this trade by 1 tick. This was kind of like a breakout at London session highs, right? We sweep this area right here, sweep this low, right? Now we know obviously we want to go higher on the higher time frame, right? It's obvious at this point, right? Going over London highs, right? We want to come to these stacked highs to finish out the model, right? We sweep this high, or this low, right? Get a higher high, try to get my entry right here. Literally miss it by a tick. And yeah, we just end up running without us. So pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is, right? Unfortunate day, but we learn and embrace it and get better from it. But yeah, main things today. I'll go over my thing. Um, that you know, um, where's my big thing? All right. From to improve, right? Understand that the context of the higher time frame model in play defines like the power that the time-based liquidity has, right? Um, Understand that we don't need time-based liquidity when we have a higher time frame model at place, right? Sometimes those 15-minute lows are all you need, right? Um, and not every time we sweep session or time-based liquidity are we going to go take 1 hour and other time-based liquidities in the opposing direction, even if we do get an internal model with it, right? Depends largely on the higher time frame model in place and trend, and the context around it. So the context in the higher time frame model um, really defines like the power that the time based liquidity will have when we sweep it and get internal model. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, boys. Have a good night, and oh yeah, that's it.